that had its ups and its downs in terms of the process. I first started by going to just an information evening, just to inquire about, what was it all about, would I be eligible, and I actually met my social worker there, and she kind of picked me later because she wanted to support me in my journey, and we went through the preliminary stages, stage 1, stage 2. There are several stages that you have to go through. I wouldn't say it was the easiest thing I've ever had to do, because it's not. It is extremely intrusive, and they need to know, social services need to know everything about you to make sure that you are the right person for the job of being a parent. But if that's what you want, and this is what I had in my mind all along, I want to have these children, I want to give them a home. So actually, any questions about me, it's irrelevant. I'm going to tell them everything, because my goal in the end is to have these children, and if I'm suitable, then the journey ends and I get my children. So in terms of the process, it's not easy. I wouldn't want to tell people it is easy, but in the end, it's worth every word you say. So yeah, it's a good process. I would say that my main challenge to start with was attachment issues, and I think that is probably the case for a lot of families. I did need some help with my son. I've adopted 2 children, a half brother and sister. Wanted to keep them together, was very desperate to do that in the first place. But my son was, his background was such that he had had a lot of mothers before me, and that was very difficult for him to attach to me. So we did have some very, very tough times to start with, and I wouldn't want people to think that it wasn't going to be tough, because it was. I sought help every time something happened between me and him, where he was not happy, he was very angry. I sought help, and that was what Derby City Council gave me. I could pick up that phone and I could say, this is happening, can you help me? And they would point me in the right direction. We did some of the training courses I was then put on to help me with him. Some things we did together. We did TheraPlay together, and that helped us to bond as mother and son. Now I would say that those difficult times, which last quite a while, actually are worth every minute, because now we are closer, I think, than we would have been without that support, without those courses, without those difficult times, because that's what's helped him to trust me and to see me as his mom now. So we are actually a really close family, and my daughter has also benefited from that too, those difficult times, because she saw them and she went through them with us. So as a family now, we are just really, really close. So I would like people to understand that yes, there are really tough times ahead, but you have to stick it out. There are times when you are going to feel really low, you're going to feel like you're not doing a good job, but you are absolutely doing a good job. You've taken these children in, you're giving them a life. Social services have been there to support you through the whole process of matching and approval, and you will be doing a really, really good job for these children in the long run. So you must stick at it to get to those absolutely brilliant points where your children are running out of school with a certificate saying, "Mummy, look what I got." Those are the moments that I now live for. I was so nervous. I was incredibly nervous. I'd already seen a photograph of them, and obviously I'd seen their profiles, but I arranged with their foster carers to actually meet them in a very relaxed environment. They were at the park, and I just happened to be walking through the park, and I met their foster carers, and we sort of pretended we were friends, and the children were just playing, and the first time I saw them it was just instant. These children are absolutely for me. I'd already decided on paper, looking at what they loved and how much we had in common. But as soon as I saw them, I knew that they were going to fit into our family, and we were going to be a smashing little family. My son was kicking a ball about, really awesome. He was just happy. My daughter was on a little spinning roundabout, and she seemed really happy, although a little bit wary of me to start with. But I was just a bit overwhelmed, to be honest, to actually meet these little children, and to think, I think they're going to be living with me very soon. but yeah, it's all been good ever since then. So it was a really good meeting, a really good meeting. Well, there's a lot of support available. I can still contact, well, right from the start I was able to contact my social worker 24/7. So if there was ever any issues that I needed help with, which at the start of the adoption I did need some help, then I could call her anytime, email. If she wasn't available at the time, then someone would pass that message on, and my social worker got back to me straight away. In terms of now, I still have that option. It's 2.5 years on for me since my children came to me, and I've still got that option to be able to contact people. I've had a student worker that's worked with me on the children's background, helped me with the life story books. She was absolutely fabulous. She actually did a lot more digging into facts and things that I needed to know about my children to be able to pass on to them in later life. And she was a really great support. So the support's been great. I can't fault it at all. Please don't overlook the older child. They have so much to offer. They've had potentially traumatic, neglected backgrounds before they are in the system to be adopted. But they do have absolutely tons to offer you as little people. They have personalities. They have a voice. That you can have conversations, you can talk to them. Yes, they have a past, but as long as you're very open with them, as much as you can be, they are so fulfilling. They are definitely little people to not be overlooked for the baby. I looked at all sorts of ages, but the fact that my two were older when I adopted them, they were 6 and 8 at the time. They have been massively fulfilling for us as a family. So please don't overlook the older child. They have so much to give you.